Hey everyone, it's Frankie, and we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to start off with a conversation I had with brother shipper Jason D'Agostino, and he's going to talk about the podcast that he has. So go support him and his podcast just as much as you do my podcast, Broken Kayfabe, and Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry. I am pleased to be joined here by brother shipper Jason D'Agostino. Jason, thank you for coming and telling us about your great podcast.
Thanks for having me on, Frankie. I'm a brother shipper with some podcasts. Travis Rains has plugged my main show a few times in the brothership, and that would be the Not Another Sports podcast. So that's a bi-weekly show I do with my best friend David. It's about an hour of us just doing the same thing we did in his parents' basement as teenagers, talking sports, and making each other laugh. And then I also have a monthly Philadelphia Phillies podcast because I am a huge Phillies fan. That is called the Philly Baseball Together podcast, and that is actually under the umbrella of a bigger podcast network. And last year, that was in the top 200 of baseball podcasts in North America.
Nice.
Yeah, I was surprised, honestly. And then my final one, I do the Punk podcast with a gentleman named Brad, who is with Baseball Together. Now, he lives out in Arizona, and over the last 2 years, we've gotten to know each other through doing podcasts and talking baseball, and we found we both love the pop punk genre of music. So that's just a half hour every week. Right now, we're on a break, but we do that 15 episodes a season, and it's really just us telling stories about our youth tied to the songs and albums of that type of music.
Very cool. So you stay kind of busy with the podcasting.
My wife said for years I needed a hobby, and now this hobby is like taking everything over.
So where can people find your podcasts?
So the Not Another Sports podcast, you can find, well, all three of them actually, you can find on Anchor.fm, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, pretty much wherever you can find them, they're there. And all three of them are also available on YouTube. God forbid anyone actually wants to watch me talk about stuff, you go and have at it.
Well, cool, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Frankie.
Willie, mercy, baby. This is Shaska Willie. You're listening to Broken Kayfabe with Frankie Seabreeze and Ariel Bologna and Cheese Sandwich. They're like Coca-Cola. They're all over, baby, on whatever network that you find it on, baby. This is Navy SEAL Body Guy, and you are listening to Broken Kayfabe with Frankie Seacrest, Ariel Agbalog, and the Brothership. Now that half-wit, Shaska Willie, better not step on this, or I will step on him, Jack. This is Redneck Steve. You're listening to Broken Kayfabe with Ariel Agbalog, Frankie Seacrest. Flap their gums about anything that they want, putting some steak on it. Oh, hell yeah.
Welcome to Broken Kayfabe, the unofficial after show of Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry. Ariel Agbalog, this might be our biggest show ever.
Is it really?
I think it is. I don't think we'll ever talk.
What makes you say that?
This is like the pinnacle because you actually did the talking with the brother shippers for once.
Well, I mean, okay, so if that's the case, would every other episode that I do, interviewing the brother shippers, be like the biggest episode?
Well, here's the problem.
Okay.
You're a busy man.
Yes.
So it's taken us, I don't know, 6 months to get you to have that conversation. So another 6 months, maybe this podcast will last another 6 months, for you to come back around and have another conversation. How about a part 2 with Mount Crowder coming up December 2022?
That sounds good, actually. I know it's I've been really busy. I'm still busy. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I mean, I would love to do more conversations, more interviews with the brother shippers and contribute more to the interviews, but I can't really do it too much.
Hey, no. We get it. I feel like we're going to have the John McAdam, Sean Goodwin conversation from Stick to Wrestling. Do you listen to that podcast?
I haven't listened in a while.
Well, it was the scheduling conflict, and then the next thing you know, there's dissension in the ranks. So I feel like that's where you're trying to make this go, but we're not. We're going to make this thing work. I'm in it for the long haul.
So am I.
So that being said, we're going to make this, as quick as possible, because I know you need to get some beauty rest. Not that you need any more beauty, but you do need the rest.
Thanks.
So this week, Barry announced the next CWF Legends Fan Fest, November the 5th, in beautiful Lutz, Florida. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. I'm so excited. I hope I can get to go this
and
time.
Yeah, I'm hoping that you make it as well. Also attending, Magnum TA.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big get.
Yeah, it is. What's your earliest Magnum TA memory?
You know what? To be honest, I didn't start watching wrestling until the late 80s. And living in California, it was primarily WWF, so I grew up watching WWF. I didn't know too much about any of the other territories at the time. I didn't know about Magnum TA until like the early 90s.
Okay. Did you buy the wrestling mags? Did you see the car crash in the mags?
No. This is weird. This is weird of me. When I was a little kid, whenever I saw the wrestling mags with the blood on it, I got kind of squeamish. And I was kind of put off by it because it kind of made me, I guess, nauseous in a way. Like it would make me physically ill. So I didn't want to look at it. I mean, I was fascinated that there's these other wrestlers out there like the Zebra Kid or Cheetah Kid or something like that. That's one of the earliest magazines that I remember getting, and I mentioned Cheetah Kid or something like that. But seeing the blood on the covers or just all that stuff, it kind of grossed me out when I was a kid, and unfortunately, I did not collect any of the wrestling magazines. I mean, I got one of them. I think it was a Pro Wrestling Illustrated or something like that. And then the WWF magazines, my friend would get them. So I would just look through when I was over at his house and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of weird that our value system here is that it's weird for a kid to get squeamish when he sees a man covered in blood on a magazine.
Right. I guess I was sheltered. I don't know. I just wasn't that wasn't appealing to me. I wasn't really fascinated by it. I was really put off by it at the time.
Well, I'm going to say some things here I'll probably regret.
Sure.
Well, I remember a lot of the Magnum TA stuff, and I listened to, I'm going to put over John McAdam again on his podcast because I've been listening to that in between the Breaking Kayfabe with Aldrin and Barry, and he was talking about remember seeing something on Georgia TV in 1981 and remembers watching it for the first time. And I'm just like, holy crap, man, how can you remember that specific moment from 40 years ago? But he can. And but I remember TA coming into Crockett. I didn't watch Mid-South or any of those others before then.
So I didn't have Florida to see him there, but I was a big fan of his Tully stuff. We always got the pay-per-views, the Starcades. We used to get all those events, so I kept up with that. The Best of 7 series. I remember being pissed that Nikita won. I remember the car accident. And I also remember as a child, I had a poster of Magnum TA that I got from one of the magazines. He had nothing but like a towel wrapped around him. It was like he was coming out of the showers and had a towel wrapped around him. And I had that on my wall.
Oh, okay.
Don't judge.
No, I'm not. I applaud.
Yeah, there we go. I was probably 8, 9, 10.
Yeah. Wow. And the adults let you have that in your family?
Well, yeah, it was a wrestler. It wasn't like it was a male model.
Right.
I mean, it was a wrestler, and it came in a wrestling magazine. So
yeah, that's not the only thing that came in a wrestling magazine.
No, I was more of like a Sears catalog kid.
Were you?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. I was a JCPenney guy.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
So Fest coming up. I'm really, really excited. Jen and I are going to bring a person again, so we'll be this weekend working on the old forms so that people can make their submissions and see if they're the one that we choose. We'll also be doing some fundraising because I want the brothership to chip in and bring another person. And I've said this before, so I won't go into it in detail, but being giving and being charitable changed my life. It changed who I am as a person. It took me off one road I was going down and put me on a completely different road. So I think that everybody can benefit from having a charitable heart and being a giver, and I want other people to have the chance to do that. And we're looking for $5 to whatever dollars and that you want to give, and I'll announce some other stuff about that later on.
Awesome.
But the Fan Fest coming up. If you come, you'll have a great time. I just did get clearance from Jana that I will be at the hotel Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. So, and I said this last time that, hey, you want to get there at least for Friday, right? You want to be there Friday night. And I don't think as much shenanigans happened Friday night this year as happened in the previous years. But so I'm going to come an extra night just in case. All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's good. So why don't we go ahead and let's go with your conversation with our good friend and impressionist, Matt Crowder.
Okay, cool. So, welcome everyone. With me on this special episode of Broken Kayfabe is fellow brother shipper and past guest, Matt Crowder, whom I've heard that his testicles have their own gravitational pull. Welcome, Matt. How are you?
I'm great. Rick Nathan, wherever he is in the bowels of Los Angeles, is laughing his ass off from just him taking up for one Barron's Rose getting slagged for what we would call in the business fertilizing lawns for free.
Wait, what? What business is that?
I don't know.
I've never
what?
heard of that before. Oh well, I've seen I've seen the posts that regarding your testicles, pretty much. And I don't know, they're always funny though.
It's funny when he did it. When he first did it, it just I was just like, oh, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I think after like the second one, I was just laughing because just at this point, it was the ridiculousness, and that's what's so fun. It's like there's people within the brothership that really embrace the ridiculousness, where it's just like so over the top that you're like, this is absolutely heaven because it's just stupid stuff that makes you laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like just brothers, making fun of each other, like how brothers do with their siblings and everything, and nothing's malicious, and everything's just all fun and games and everything like that. So, but we're here to talk about something near and dear to us, not necessarily just wrestling or food or anything else, but the topic of anime, which is another niche, I guess, thing going on that people like. I don't know how many people out there in the brothership like anime or know what it is, but for those that don't know, it's basically Japanese animation cartoons, and both Matt and I love it. So this is why we're having this episode today. Hopefully we get some sort of listenership on this. It would be cool. But, Matt's always a great guest, and he always has something to talk about. So let's get to it. So you're a big fan of anime right now, and what kind of anime did you watch growing up? What was your first?
So the first anime, well, technically, I mean, I think a lot of us, the first anime we really ever saw was Voltron.
Right.
They dubbed it and Americanized a lot of it, which I loved Voltron. I hated the Power Rangers when I was older. I'm like, ripped off Voltron, the bastards. and then I did a 180 and liked it, and then I was like, this is still bullshit. And
you got to realize that Power Rangers actually preceded Voltron in Japan when
I know
Super Sentai and everything like that.
I found that out later, but I was still in like us all, we're like, when you see your first love, you're just like, God damn it, it's the greatest thing you've ever seen, and don't take that away from me. And then after that, I would say, the big anime boom. Well, I would say there's probably two. The big was after Akira, and then there was the mid to late 90s, Toonami on the Cartoon Network, which had the block of. Let's see. There was, they did have Voltron and Thundercats. They had the 80s stuff, and then that went away. And then, a little known anime called Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
And
they had like Gundam Wing,
Gundam Wing.
Hakusho.
Ronin Warriors was
I love that one.
Oh, God. I rewatched that on Amazon Prime last year. And I did it in Japanese because now I know we were talking about this earlier off air, but I just can't do dubs anymore. I have to do, it has to be subtitled. If it even is not subtitled, I will get the gist of it. It's like, it just brings it, but I'll get into that later. But those were things that really was heavy. And then a little bit after that was Blue Gender. I remember watching all that when I was working retail and overnights. That's like when you work overnights, you get all the cool stuff because it's usually all the nerds and everyone that aren't holding regular 9-to-5 jobs in some cases, where it's like you really get stuff that you've missed, and they're more than happy to pass it on to you. Like heavy metal, the original heavy metal, which was awesome. Remember seeing that. That's probably been over 20 some years ago when I saw that and stuff like that. But Dragon Ball Z was huge. I mean, to me, you would have the beginning where you'd have Goku fighting Raditz with Piccolo, and then slowly, probably a couple years after that, then we went to the Frieza, which Goku going Super Saiyan, which, my God. Even though there's so many filler episodes in Dragon Ball Z, they were so good about building you up to points to where this was something that was going to be fucking awesome. Yeah. And when Goku turned Super Saiyan, and whoever in the brothership has watched, Dragon Ball Z, and, from the beginning where it just, because Dragon Ball Z is just pretty much nonstop action throughout the entire anime. There are some slow parts, but for the most part, whether it's, the Saiyan saga, then you're going to the Ginyu Force, first Goku and Vegeta fighting, which, was an epic fucking battle. And
Then you go to Namek, and then he figured, and then he goes Super Saiyan and Namek, and then kills Frieza, and then you go to the androids. There's a little interlude like Garlic Jr. and
Yeah.
which was just like fucking filler. And then you go to the Android saga, into the Cell saga, and then the Cell games, and just that was great. And then later on, you got the Majin Buu stuff, which ended up ending the series. Or, well, I shouldn't say that. No, there was the Other World tournament, and then it went into Majin Buu, where they did the double turn because they wanted to go with Gohan, and they're like, no, people like Goku better, so fuck Gohan. And now it's totally the opposite. Now I would say most anime fans are tired of Goku, even though they like Goku, but they want Gohan because of how Gohan shined, in the Cell and stuff like that. But then after that, I got into Dragon Ball, the original anime from the late 80s in Japan. I think at some point, I think it was the early 90s, they had the first series run in the US that they ended up dubbing over to English, which I never saw. I think they did another version later on, because that was when a lot of American companies, pre-Funimation, there was the Canadian company, the Ocean dub that they did with Pioneer. And I love those voice actors. I thought they were the best. And then when they went to Funimation, I got used to it, but it wasn't the same. And then, because I didn't watch the Japanese versions till later on. But you get what you can get, because it's just like you're so entrenched in the story, and you're like, oh, you're not thinking about what it's like in its native language and stuff like that. So, but I fell in love with Dragon Ball, and then I ended up at some point watching Dragon Ball Z all the way through, just because I'm a completist and I need to watch from point A to point B and where it ends.
That's cool.
Yeah. Then I did watch GT, which was really, really weird, because they initially cut out the first 15 episodes from US release, and then they eventually released them because it was on its last legs. I mean, towards the end of Dragon Ball Z, the last saga was so long, and even though I learned to enjoy it, I can totally understand why people be like, Jesus, I'm like, Majin Buu's just like Cell and kind of Frieza all rolled into one, because they would take elements of a previous villain and then just kind of, oh, now you have the next big bad does all the things that the other previous ones did, but it's, a stronger person that, Goku has to, or Vegeta has to come and kind of save the day. But also it's interesting to see how far the characters come. Like Gohan comes to mind.
Yeah.
And Vegeta too as well. I mean, Vegeta's awesome. Your anti-hero, prideful Saiyan, stuff like that. So
yeah, and also with Piccolo, when he was like this badass, villain, and then he takes Gohan under his wing, and then becomes like a surrogate father or older brother type, and is always out there to protect him. And then he has like the softer side that you don't really see. I guess you see it more in Super. That I think, I don't know, with Piccolo.
You do see it in DBZ. I mean, early still the evil Piccolo. I mean, if you were a fan of Dragon Ball, and you did the last two sagas, which were the King Piccolo saga, and then the Junior Aura in Japanese, Piccolo Daimao, where you saw that Piccolo was this evil being, and he was getting revenge for his dad dying from Goku, and he was going to kill Goku, and then like majority of the baddies, he ends up being friends with Goku, and then becomes a Z fighter, whatever term you want to use, or part of the crew and stuff like that. So those were things that were so neat to see, and you just got invested in it, even though it's very simplistic, but the fights were awesome. And then the transformations were always a good thing too. Like when you first saw it, you're just like, you kind of don't know how to take it. And then you're into the story, but then goes to transformations. Like we're talking about Super Saiyan, or, Super Saiyan Elevated or Super Saiyan 2. And then there's Super Saiyan 3. And then they do Super Saiyan 4 in GT. Spoiler alert. And then obviously with the newer series, and now it's anime is such big business in America now. It's really, really crazy. And I mean, now, the big animes that, I would say the majority of the people who are anime fans watch a lot, Attack on Titan, which just ended. And then My Hero Academia, which is something a friend of mine got me onto. One Punch Man, which is phenomenal. Damn it, give us season 3. I want to see what God if he finally turns into a monster. And trust me, I could probably read the manga and spoil myself to death, but I'm like, no. And then a former coworker of mine put me on to Hunter x Hunter, and from what you told me today, you got super pissed off at the Chimera Ant arc.
Yeah, dude, I hate that arc. No, I don't hate it. It's just like it out of all the arcs in that series, that's the most like intense for me.
Oh, like, yeah, no, it's
not.
It starts out. I mean, you get invested in it.
Yeah,
and then that arc is so goddamn long. You think you're like swimming, like from here to Japan, and it's ridiculously long. And then, I mean, the ending of the series is really weird. And I know they've had rumors that it's gonna come back, not gonna come back. What the hell are they gonna do? But
right.
But tell me, you gotta tell me about what set you off about that arc.
Well, for one, the leader bad guy looks a lot like Cell.
Yeah,
I was like, ah. I was like, oh. And his minions, they're just like overpowered jackasses. And then when Kite died, Gon's homie, mentor, friend, that one like really like, dude, you better fucking kick all their asses, Gon, and kill you.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Well, I'm like, dude, you better end this really quickly because this is fucking long. This is a really long arc.
Yes, no, I think it's like 60 or 70 episodes, something like that.
Yeah.
Because I know, well, the thing of it is, it wasn't on Netflix, so I had to literally download Crunchyroll to see that entire fucking arc. I was so pissed. I was like, because my buddy's like, oh yeah, like most of the series are on Netflix. I'm like, okay, whatever the hell. Another one, even though it's American, but I think there was some Japanese influence. Castlevania on Netflix.
That's a very good one.
Oh God, I love that. That might be the greatest video game adaptation into a show I've ever seen. It is that to me, it's that good. Like,
I agree. Yeah.
It's funny that the first 2 seasons are so short, and then the last 2 they doubled the seasons, which you needed to, because it's like the first 4 episodes. Season 1 has 4 episodes, and it's 30-minute episodes. So I mean, you get like the story. It was really good how the religious folks were just such dicks and were so corrupt, and then they end up doing unspeakable things to Dracula's wife, and Dracula says, fuck you, I'm gonna kill everybody, and there's lots of death. And then it's just that series was so good. But I very long-winded on all that, but it's that was like my kind of entrance into anime, and I've been watching pretty much for the last 20 years here and there. I mean, now I've probably gotten more into it the older I've gotten, because just the advent of streaming, and a lot of the American companies now having the ability to not only get it a lot easier, where you would have to go way back in the day, you'd go to Suncoast Video. That's literally where I bought all my DBZ like DVDs, was Suncoast. They were the only damn chain in Minnesota when I was living there that would have anything like that. The major retailers. You've lived here your whole life, and I'm pretty sure you had a lot more easier time finding stuff if you were on the lookout for it. Obviously, a bigger market, lots of Asian markets, other stuff that you can really find some stuff off the beaten path that really not anybody else is carrying.
Yeah, definitely. Living here in the Bay Area, of course, there's a big Asian population. Also, there's a Japantown here in San Jose and also in San Francisco where they have these little specialty stores that sell toys and animation and all that stuff from Japan that I can go to and check out and stuff like that. So I'm very fortunate to have that in my area. But like, yeah, there's just so much out there right now to watch and everything like that. And another thing about Dragon Ball, I wanted to get back to it. One of the things that kind of irks me about Dragon Ball Z is Goku takes 4 episodes to build up a spirit bomb and he fucking misses.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing. They always had the filler episodes.
Yeah.
Where it's like you knew. And then when they released Dragon Ball Kai, which I never watched, and there's so many. Now it's like there's money grabs. Like a coworker of mine's like, oh yeah, watch Dragon Ball, Super Dragon Ball Heroes. And I'm like, no, I never got into the movies, even though I did see the last movie they came out with. I know they have another one coming out in the US. It's released in Japan already. The
superhero
Dragon Ball Super, yeah. Like I actually saw it on YouTube, the entire movie. So someone actually videoed it in the theater in Japan, and I watched the whole thing while I was taking my daughter to the park.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I'm done. I got it for free. Bye. And okay, I saw it. Right. But everyone else got into everything else, but I always just liked the straight canon story from the beginning to like where I know I totally know what you're getting at, where it's like the power-ups take like 3 episodes, or like where Frieza gores, like if you saw the uncut version of, because they edited the hell out of DBZ in the early 2000s, excuse me. And what ended up happening is later on, they, Funimation got the rights to get the uncut stuff where you'd see the real nasty shit, where fucking Frieza gores fucking Krillin and is licking the blood that's coming from his torso. I'm just like, Jesus, this is fucking crazy. You're marketing this to, you're not quite marketing to children, but I mean, anime was bloody in the 90s and even the late 80s. So, cool stuff like that. But I can totally understand where it's just like, get to the fucking transformation because this is what I want. God damn it.
Yeah, it's that was that moment in Dragon Ball Z history was probably the first for me that I got really excited for Goku kicking the living crap out of an enemy. When he turned Super Saiyan, when Krillin died and everything like that. And that point really hit me in a way that I became that's when I found out I was really emotionally invested in the characters and that series. And even more during Cell games when we talked about earlier the father-son Kamehameha.
Oh my god, I still cry at it. I don't knows it. At some point I want someone to either draw it and I put it in my house because it's the most beautiful thing in the world, where Gohan has his one hand and then his father has his 2 hands. And it's just the Kamehameha blast, and it's just like, I've watched it in English. I will give the dub credit on this because they obviously have different music. And then eventually they reneged and went to the original Japanese music, where it's in the English version, they actually tried, and I think was a lot better, to where they got the very tense and emotional music. Like, I love Cell's, like, Gohan's anger theme, where it's like the dun, 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 which is like really, really good. I will give them credit for that. But that is so cool. But I mean, that Kamehameha episode, I think, is like 3 episodes. Like, I call it the Kamehameha episode because that's what the fuck it is. It's literally just them going, like, both Kamehameha. Cell's like, I'm fucking better than you. And then once all his, like, Tien Shinhan and Yamcha and Krillin and Piccolo, they're like trying to help Gohan, they're just getting fucking slapped like bitches, just going down. And then you're like, oh my God, what the fuck? I'm like, come on, Gohan, get this motherfucker. He's fucking with your friends. Kill him. Do it. And then, you know, Gohan still has his doubts. And then, you know, after Goku, you know, sacrificed his life for the entire group and is cheering his son on from Otherworld with King Kai. And I like, the reason why I love the Japanese version of it, it's just that there's just so much more passion, and you can feel it, and it's so freaking awesome. Where it's like Cell goes Vegeta, and then you hear Goku go Yamalan, and it's like fucking Kamehameha. Then Cell just goes no, and he's dead. It's like it's so
hold on, let me add Frankie to the call. He wants a little.
All right, let's bring him on.
Let's see if I could get him on there. Sorry about that.
How dare you bring other people in here without asking me first? I'm kidding.
I know you're on a roll too. I was like, okay.
Oh, it's fine. It's transitions, baby. It's transitions.
Yeah.
Willie, baby. Frankie Seabreeze is joining the party, baby.
We can't hear you, Frankie.
You can't hear you, Frankie. How do I do this? Is this on his end or mine?
I might be on his end. I don't know yet.
Frankie, we can't hear you. Can you hear us?
You muted? I can't hear you, but we can hear each other because we're cool kids, I guess.
Let's see.
Adventures in podcasting.
I know, right?
When you know, or I call it the pandemic special because literally with all the video calls I do for work, and someone is either muted or they have audio issues joining the call, and it's just like, just turn mute off and on, or just we'll stop and we'll rejoin the call, stuff like that. I jokingly call it that because I'd say between Zoom, Skype, WebEx, whatever fucking platform you use, it happens to everybody.
Yeah, I've never really. Nope, still can't hear him.
No, we're recording. This is gold. Like Rick Nathan is going to be begging to come back on.
Can't hear you, Frankie, or I don't know what's going on.
He raised his hand, which is great.
What does that mean?
Everything, Ariel. Everything. So I'll vamp a little. I'll vamp a little bit. So I did watch G.I. Joe the movie last week at Mercado. Which was fucking phenomenal. I think that's the first time they've released it in theaters. God, I love that movie so much because of there is some great dialogue in that movie. I don't care what anyone says. It's just like Sergeant Slaughter is brilliant in that movie.
Wait, I think Frankie's sending me something. Create new group. How do I do that?
We could stop recording now. We'll edit all this out, obviously, and then we can end the call and then have everyone else join.
Okay. Let me stop recording. And Frankie left.
Oh well, fuck him.
Yeah, my plan worked.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. No.
You're taking over the podcast. To hell with all of you now.
Frankie.
And that worked.
Hey!
Hello.
Hi.
Willie, baby.
What happened?
I don't know. So that first time I couldn't hear anything. Could you guys hear me at all?
No, we didn't hear you at all.
No.
Okay, I couldn't hear you guys at all either. So I just got out and then clicked back the log on. Hey, I just wanted to jump on real quick. I'm about to go relax, is what we call it. You lay down, you go to bed, and you watch your favorite shows. And I just wanted to thank both of you for your time and your energy and your effort that you put into the Broken Kayfabe with Frankie and Ariel egg bologna and cheese sandwich.
The funny thing is like I was thinking, because I did this in high school where there was a project and I had to come up with like nicknames for things, and it was like people places, and I just like that. And then once I started thinking of like Ariel, I'm like, oh, Ariel Agbalag, and I'm like, bologna and cheese, baby, bologna and cheese, and it's just like it absolutely works because it flows just really well. And it's just stupid shit like that. It just comes out your mouth. You're like, oh, this works. This is great. And I'm like, and with you, it's like you have the sea, you're by the beach, and you're probably, well, I doubt you're having a sea breeze, but
back in the day, I did have this.
I knew waitresses that would be like their after shift cocktail of choice.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm not going to take a whole lot of anyone's time. I don't want to. I want you guys to have your magic. But tell me, when was the first time you saw Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant?
Me? Oh, yeah. Well, the funny thing is I didn't see Jimmy Valiant until it was when what did become the network. So Classics on Demand. I was so pumped for that because you'd always heard the rumors of there was going to be a wrestling channel. WWE was going to do it. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, this is going to be great. And then I started watching the old NWA Saturday nights. And the first time, I'm like, this guy is fucking ridiculous. But he just hooked me. I was so over with him. We got over with me, I should say. And it just got so much more ridiculous. And then, now with me having pretty much, his stuff from 85, 86, and 87. Thank you, Roman Gomez. Where I watched it from its infancy. And trust me, I still have to watch the Memphis stuff that Roman gave me a compilation of in the late 70s, early 80s, where he was handsome Jimmy Valiant as opposed to Boogie Woogie Man, where it's just like this dude was over. Everyone went fucking nuts when he came out, and he was the opening match guy. And it's just was so ridiculously funny. And just great. It's just like, Willie, my blood, baby, my blood, you understand? Just stuff like that. It was just so great. And it went over the top ridiculous. And then when you put him with Bugsy McGraw, it was like, it was almost too much because Bugsy McGraw was like a poor man's Jimmy Valiant at that time.
I agree with you. In Crockett, when he came in at Crockett.
Yeah, it was 87. And I was like, that I'm like, okay, just and they put him with Lasertron and all this because Jimmy was over. I mean, he'd be hugging the kids, he'd be hugging the moms and the girls. It's just like, I mean, it's just like I disliked the Boogie Jam. Boy from New York City was the best. He's like, rah, rah, boo, boo, and then he'd just do this spastic clapping. And it was just so fun to see, and it was just ridiculousness. But the dude was over.
Jimmy Valiant kissed my father.
What? Oh, that is gold. Oh my God! It's like that's fucking great.
Well, in my and here's the thing, it's the South, right? Everybody's homophobic in the South. So I asked my dad, I was like, this is what I was working, and I knew Boogie's magic, on that, and so I asked my dad. I'm like, Dad, so tell me, did he slip you the tongue or what? He goes, oh no. He put his hand up, And my dad wanted to make it clear that there was no,
Of course not, because how oh my God, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Right. So yeah. Hey, if we're shooting here, Boogie also stuck his finger at my butthole, but that's a whole other story.
God damn it, Mom! Oh, that's just great.
And this concludes the podcast for today.
What I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna add that into a fucking promo now. Now you've given me ideas. I will send one for that.
Well, if you watch him, he's got a couple spots that he does. He does
I've seen it, but it's the fact that he did it to you is even better.
Yeah.
This is great. That's gold.
Oh, you know what? I might actually have that on video.
Oh.
You know what? If you bring that to the next Fan Fest, I'll have the first fucking play there. Bring it. That's like we'll put a tarp or a blanket up, and we'll just put a projector on, and we'll get the video. We'll be like Frankie getting, literally finger raped by Jimmy Valiant.
Well, and it was also the first and last match where I did the bear hug. It's a true story. But look, I said, hey man, these guys are working their magic. The only thing I would make sure was that this is Ariel's first time doing the recording. And Ariel, I thank you so much for recording. You are so much better at talking to people than me. And you provide so much great content, and I swear, when people start paying for this crap, I'm gonna hook you up.
No, it's cool. I mean, thanks, but I don't. There's a lot that I have to improve on in terms of talking and
dude. No. You are perfect. You seriously, you are perfect. You are absolutely 100% perfect. Man, don't start this things you got to improve of. You're absolutely perfect. You are the perfect I mean, it's like divine intervention that you actually started doing this podcast with me. I mean, it's really, really, really crazy because it's not like we talked about anything ever and then it just happened. So I thank you, and you're absolutely wonderful.
Oh, thank you very much. That's a lot of that's great. That's a great compliment, and I appreciate you. I still don't feel that way about myself, but that's just me being a critic of the harshest critic of myself. So, but thank you very much, Frankie.
Ariel, you've been working in the zingers the last couple episodes, so god damn it, trust me. Like, I did not used to be this way. I was totally the introvert, and I still do have introverted tendencies. Don't get me wrong. When you're once an introvert, always an introvert. But right. I can go in between both. And it's just like anything, it takes time. But yeah, you're doing a fucking great job, dude. This is fun. I get to bullshit about absolute crazy nonsense. And be, bless it, baby. We gonna make it. We like Coca-Cola weed all over, baby. Stuff like that. Where it's just like you just get to be a stupid fat mark for 1 to 2 to 3 hours, however long we record and stuff like that. So fuck, man. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be great. It's meant to be, on so many levels ridiculousness, and we're all having fun. And I just fart, so it's great.
That's true. I think I do better when I'm typing out stuff on, comments and everything like that, because I don't type when I don't stutter when I type or anything. So it's I get more of my thoughts out that way.
Practice makes perfect, brother. Practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Like when I started doing video calls, I was stuttering like a fat kid trying to hump a cupcake. But then over time, I got better at it. Like I tell you 5 years ago, I couldn't be talking the way I'm talking now. Mm-hmm. Does it help that there are things that interest me that make it easier? And those are things to kind of work on and figure out. But dude, it's you'll find it, and once you find it, you'll never let it go. And it's like riding a bike, you know, jumping up and down, jumping rope, farting through silk, whatever fucking connotation you want to use. That's just the way.
That's true. So, Frankie, can you do me a favor and edit all of this out? Like most of this stuff.
Sure.
No? Okay.
Sure.
No,
Sure. Well, I mean, what part specifically? Where I compliment you and you don't know how to take it?
Yes.
Okay.
No, just kidding. No. You can leave that in there. It's cool. Content.
Yeah. No. I just want to jump on and tell you guys. I mean, man, I love your impersonations and the time that you take and you come on and you talk to us and Rick Nathan and Chris Zaha, Travis Raines. I appreciate it all. I mean, one of the reasons that I want to. I mean, I guess the main reason for starting this was that my friends are so cool. And I think everybody should hear the brothership. And I hope that more people in the brothership, because there's 2,100 of us, want to come on and talk. I probably had 7, 8, 10, right? So I hope that more people come on. But Matt, I appreciate you coming on and talking. And in this episode, we're getting to talk about things that we normally wouldn't be talking about, or that I couldn't talk about because I don't know if you guys are still talking about anime. So
yeah, we were knee deep in Dragon Ball Z lore when we were going. And there was like, God, you're rolling. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can start and stop when I need to. So it's just like there's always good stopping points. And there's Jesus came from the mountain, said, let's edit this out, and we'll get the message out.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say to you guys, both of you, while you're here, and then I'm out of here. I appreciate both of you and the time. I've said to each of you, and so I guess we'll tell everyone on this episode that I'm starting a Patreon, and the Patreon will be to generate money to bring more people to the Fan Fest every 6 months, and so part of that will go to bring people to the Fan Fest, but also go to throw out some cashola to Ariel. So people that are interested in supporting the bringing people in here to the Fan Fest, there'll be some ways that you can donate. I'll have the 501c set up this week or next, and everyone will be able to donate and help out and be a part of bringing someone that comes to the Fan Fest, and part of the Patreon will do that. And I'm very thankful that the brothership is just today I was thinking, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and then I'll shut up and I'll go get in bed. But some things happened, and I was talking to some people in the brothership, and I was like, man, I'm so thankful that I have the people in the brothership and the conversations that I was having today, and that people in my family were having today that involved the brothership. And it's crazy because I mean the opportunities that have happened and the friendships that I have and I've formed, and here's an example. So I was talking to Mark Russ about my lawn. And I don't know. I mean, I know people around me in Florida, but I don't know people all around me in Florida. So I asked Mark, who's in construction, he's a builder, and about this bare spot that I have, and he told me exactly what to do. So I think of Mark as my Florida man dad, but I would never have met him had I not been a member of the brothership and had I not went to the CWF Legends Fan Fest. So, that's I'm just trying to convey how important it is that I have my closest friends are brother shippers, and you all included. So I'm very thankful that you guys are having this conversation, and it's content not just for me, but you think of people that were like, I don't know, Joe Christie, who was going through the cancer treatment, and he's going to chemo, and he's listening to the podcast, and he's listening to us talk, and other people who are going through stuff are being able to hear not just Breaking Kayfabe with Bowser and Barry, but they're also hearing their friends talk about things that they love and that they're passionate about. And I hope that we can provide a couple hours of entertainment every week to those people, and then in doing so, encourage people to give. And in terms of charity, to help bring some brother shippers to the next Fan Fest, and eventually, I think we'll go through people and then we'll bring people who have been before but just aren't in a financial predicament to do it. So I think that we'll have people coming in and using this fund that we set up, or if someone's passes away, we've got fund to donate to whatever charity or whatever. So my point is, I'm very thankful for you too, and I'm very thankful for the brother shippers that listen every week and give us the downloads, and the ones that come on and give us the time to talk, like Rick Nathan, Chris Zaha, Travis Raines, Michael Herrick, the guys that were at the last one, Benji, Fido, Mark Hertwig, Mark Russ has been on a couple of times. So anyway, I'm very, 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 very thankful that I have the friendship of you all and the friendship of the folks in the brothership.
APB out to Benji Fido. I want him on this. I want him on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being the guy who spins the hot stacks of wax for his job, and I know that was like the first big thing when I started really paying attention more to the brothership Facebook group, and I just think he'd be a great guest. That's a get. Benji, wherever you are, and if you're listening, and if you're not, we're going to get your ass on this show.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. So you guys go ahead and talk about your nerdy Dragon Ball Z anime, tentacle stuff, whatever.
Hey, man.
Well, we could be talking about hentai, but that could go into a different direction that might get us canceled. So
yeah, I loved his run where he had the thing up in with Bret Hart,
Oh my god.
He had the drawings all over him. Yeah, hentai. I love that guy.
Oh.
All right, guys, you have fun. Thank you so much. Ariel, text me and we'll talk about how you get the video. I mean the file to me, and we'll go and I'll get that stuff uploaded. And you and I talk, and we'll put it all together and have the thing and the whatnot. But anyway, thank you guys.
Thanks, Frankie, for sure.
See you, Frankie. Be good, but be good, brother.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Now the dead weight's off the call. I love you, Frankie, and God's honest truth. You are a beautiful human being, and much as time I get to spend on this podcast, which I think I might be the record holder at this point. And that's, I'm not tooting my own horn, but the fact I get to talk about the foolishness between, Bruce Springsteen, wrestling, now anime and other stuff is always fun to do.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much layers to you that we need to talk about. So I'm glad that you're on here talking about it right now. So back to what we were talking about in anime, which was I totally forgot what you were talking about in anime.
I think we're at the point where Goku turned Super Saiyan, and you were talking about
yes.
when Krillin dying, and then that was the trigger for Goku to go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, and how that made me, more emotionally invested in the series itself, and then that whole, like we talked about the Cell games at the Father Son Kamehameha, and and then the whole like Majin Buu saga, which was, it was all right. It wasn't anything as to me like the Cell saga or the Cell game saga or that part of it. I'm not a big Majin Buu fan. When he did turn into his other forms, that's when it was like, wow, it's getting a lot more serious, and then and all that stuff. So but
non-fat Boo and then Kid Boo. I mean Kid Boo.
Yeah, Kid Boo. Yeah.
Which is like the last, I think, like 12 or 15 episodes, but it just takes. The last one is a slog because, I mean, if you watch the end of the Cell games and how it ends, you're thinking they're moving towards Gohan is going to be the main, is going to be the guy.
Right.
And then then they realize, and I think this happened in Japan where people weren't ready to let go of Goku. Now, if you did it, Gohan, I think, would have been the person to take take it and run, and Goku could be like, in the background. But now it's like, but back then, I mean, Goku still had the cachet to stay on as, your main good guy, and you always wanted, you rooted for Goku. I mean, it was sad when he died, but that was the swerve. He sacrificed himself. He couldn't beat Cell, and then Goku's son perfects, Super Saiyan 2 and beats the fuck out of Cell, but is unsure of himself, but eventually at the end triumphs over Cell.
Yeah. That's what kind of turned me off of GT when they focused on Goku again, but as a child.
Yeah.
When he turned into, and then there's Trunks and Goten and them, but yeah, it was still kind of centered around Goku still, and I was like, ugh, whatever. I was getting tired of Goku also at that point.
No, well, the thing of it is, I think they tried to go back to Dragon Ball because they had ran out of ideas. It's like the Baby Saga was like more DBZ. Like if you for anyone out there who has watched GT, they started to do like, instead of the regular Dragon Balls, they do the Black Star Dragon Balls, and then they go across the universe to get it, because they brought back Emperor Pilaf, and I'm like, for fuck's sake. Emperor Pilaf was funny in Dragon Ball, but there's a reason why he was not back in Dragon Ball Z, and it's just like, it should have stayed there. And then they kind of just they dismissed him after the fact. I mean, they did bring him back in Super a little bit with Mai and Shu, but even though Mai gets a little bit more shine with in the Goku Black Saga, which is the middle saga of Super. But I know you haven't watched Super, and I won't go into too many spoilers, but you need to watch Tournament of Power, which is the last arc they had in the anime, and there's rumors now that they're going to continue Dragon Ball Super, I think either towards the end of the year or next year. So we'll see what goes on, because you need to see Jiren and Goku fight. You need to hear the ultimate battle song in Japanese. Just, it's cool stuff. I mean, a lot of it's fan servicey now. I mean, I think that's like any sort of medium right now, like Disney Star Wars fucking is fan service, and it's pissed me off, and I'll never watch Star Wars again because of what they did they fucked Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi, and I'm done. I'm just like, you fucking ruined it for me. And I'm like, I'm done. I won't get into that rant now, but for the most part, it was so cool watching. You got invested with, like, the clip I sent you about Master Roshi, and where he almost died, and the emotional arc. I mean, I remember watching that live, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking bawl like someone took my toy. And I was just like, oh my god, this is so awesome. I didn't send you the one where Goku makes his last transformation, which is like, oh, that's really good. God damn it, you need to watch Tournament of Power. Just do it. If you have the Funimation streaming service, I'm pretty sure Super's on it, but
is it not on Crunchyroll or no?
I'm pretty sure it should be on Crunchyroll, because
doesn't Crunchyroll own Funimation now or something, or don't they?
Here's the thing: Sony owns Crunchyroll, and pretty much Sony's going to own everything at this point, because now all these services have been bought up. Even though the Funimation service still exists, They still have a lot of the stuff like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia. I mean, Crunchyroll does too, but yeah, no, they are one at some point, but they're still, you're able to use either service.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. I do have a Crunchyroll account and paid.
Oh, look at you! Oh, you
look at me, huh? Paid account.
Got tired of the fucking ads, didn't you?
Yeah. And then I barely use it, but
dude, trust me. Before my daughter was born. Oh, well, I shouldn't say it. She was small enough to where when she would sleep, because they would do simulcasts of the Dragon Ball Super episodes on Funimation on the streaming service, so you could watch it when it was showing in Japan, which was fucking awesome. So I got to see pretty much the entire run of Super on the Funimation streaming service. So I saw it in all real time. It was fucking great. So cool. That's the thing about living in this day and age. We get it now. We don't got to wait. So because we've done it both ways, but we like the new way better because when we want to see this shit, I want to see it now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did watch Record of Ragnarok that was made in Netflix Japan, and then they just subbed it to American Netflix, but it was like the end of the world where essentially all these characters in human history, where the Valkyrie go against the gods and get these notable historical figures to fight gods like God,
yeah,
which I thought was pretty neat. I mean, it's just the fighting, but it's cool stuff. I think they're going to do a second season, but I binged that, and I mean it's like 10 episodes, so it's not like and it's half hour a piece, so you're going to you're not going to have to waste a lot of time. You're going to get through it pretty fast.
Yeah, that's some of the anime I kind of like now. It's the shorter seasons, and it's just nothing but action. Like what's that one called? Baki, the Grappler, and some other. There's another one on Netflix that's just like it. I think I forgot the name. Ashura something.
Yeah.
Tengen Ashura or something like that. So I like those because it's just straight up action and fighting, and it's only like 10-12 episodes per season, and it's usually like 1 or 2 seasons. It's hard for me nowadays to get invested into a really long season of anime, such as Hunter x Hunter and
Hunter x Hunter. That's like a commitment, and I did because I just got sucked in. But
or One Piece, Jesus Christ!
Oh Jesus, I want to, but that is a commitment. That's like reading the Bible front to back 5 or 6 times. Because they have I think they have close to 1,000 episodes, don't they?
Yeah.
And I'm like, who has time for that? Even if I was single, I'd probably have my feelings hurt because it's just so much. And I'm like, my God. And when is it going to end? Like, what does it do? I mean, we were joking about the Chimera Ant one, which was like 70 episodes, but there was a start, and then it got like really fucking creepy, and then it ends where the old dude fucking. That's the cool thing. That is the most sinister one, where he fucking puts an atomic bomb in his heart and sets it off, kills himself, and then it's with insecticide and motherfucks everybody, and it kills the main villain. It's genius, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so vicious, but it's the best fuck you to a bad guy you could ever have. Oh, just glorious, just glorious.
Yeah, that's a great anime. Have you seen Demon Slayer?
No. The thing of it is that, like every working professional, time and then having a child, it's like my baby girl's going to be 5 tomorrow. So, and it's like, I wish I had the time to do it. Like I fit in probably watching old school wrestling probably after work just to kind of decompress before I go to bed. But it's just like, I know myself. I'm such an addictive personality. Like if I get into something, I fucking won't come out of it. Nope, can't talk watching this shit. Can't talk. I'm invested. Can't talk. I need to like focus into like one person tried to get me into Death Note. I was just like, I got like, I'd say 20 episodes in. I'm like, no. And that's probably one of the first animes I can ever say that someone recommended to me and I did not. I stopped watching. Because with One Punch Man, I did that on my own, and I watched the first season. I laughed my ass off. I love it, and Saitama is great, and Genos, his little cybernetic sidekick, and then all the Hero Association. It's just it's great stuff, and then. My good friends got one of my good friends' brother got me into My Hero Academia, where I literally binged 4 seasons in probably a month and a half. I was just like, I just got because All Might and why am I spacing on the main character's name? His pejorative term is Deku, but. And the closest thing I have ever had to work close to what I would say is this, the Cell games, Goku and Gohan, father son Kamehameha, is when All Might, and it's all for it's one for all and all for one fight, and he loses the ability to have one for all, and he's going to pass it to Deku, and I still get teared up when I watch the clip where it goes United Stand Up Smash, and he just fucking goes down and he kicks the guy's ass, and then he points at the end, and Deku is like starts sobbing, and I'm just like, I'm not crying, you're crying. This is fucking the greatest thing. And it's just, I can't wait till how that ends, because obviously there's going to be the heroes and the villains having their big blow off at the end, where it's just like they're building it up. I mean, to me, I haven't watched the new season yet. But I know season 5. I think season 5 ended, and I think they're gonna do 6 pretty soon, because those are other. I know they've released like 3 or 4 movies in the United States, and they've done really well. Yeah. But that's like the hotness right now. And then I'm pretty sure when Dragon Ball Super comes back, that will come back. I know, but. I wish I had the time. I mean, there's ones I want to watch. Like I was talking about Ronin Warriors. Like I remember watching that, and then when I went back and watched it, I just remembered how awesome it was. But I didn't realize how short it is. Mm-hmm. It's only like it's I think like 39, 40 episodes, and that's it. And I actually watched it in Japanese this time as opposed to the English translation, but no, that was a cool show. Yeah, reminded me of like it reminded me of Voltron without the animal vehicles. It was just like and stuff, but yeah, it was like really, really cool.
So who are some of your favorite anime characters throughout your whole anime watching lifetime?
Well, Goku is one. I love Goku. Master Roshi, or in Japanese, Muten Roshi-sama, where Roshi's a dirty old man. Like
yes,
every anime trope, the oldest people are the dirtiest motherfuckers you've ever met. Like they'll, I mean, watching Dragon Ball and where Bulma flashes her lady parts in front of him, and then they do the nosebleed, which is hilarious. And I love Master Roshi. Like, if anyone in life you want to strive for, it is Master Roshi, because he lives on a fucking island out in the middle of nowhere, and he has everything that he ever wants, and it's like perfect solitude. Then, Goku just comes by and just like, I want you to do stuff for me. And it's just like, when you watch the Dragon Ball anime where he trains up Goku and Krillin, and then, he has this alias Jackie Chun, and, helps his students and stuff. I love Master Roshi. You cannot understate how awesome Master Roshi is. That's why I gave you that clip, because it's just like, when you've watched the entire series and you have that emotional attachment about Master Roshi, and that was like his most pronounced role since like the end of Dragon Ball.
Wow.
So it's just like, that's what makes it so cool. I do love All Might. All Might is great, even though it's like the most cliche like superhero. And then Saitama is great in One Punch Man. Just, one punch and they all talk their shit, and he's just like, I'm bored, and then I'll get up and I'll just punch the motherfucker and put a hole through him, and it's absolutely great. Where it's just like it's not Master Bang, but it might be Bang. The guy with kind of the white spiky hair who wants to take Saitama and Genos under his wing, who was the sensei of
Garu, yeah, it's Bang.
I love it how they say it in Japanese. It's just like, he's just like Garu. It sounds so awesome. And he's like, I'm interested to see, because he beat the shit out of him at the end of season 2, and it was just like, oh my god, he's gonna kill him. And then what's so cool about that is you can relate to Garu at, the heroes always win, the villains never win, which is so brilliant and is such a great like story point to get him over as a character, because you sympathize with him, even though he is a bastard and has killed all these heroes in the association or put them in the hospital. You understand he was made fun of because he was different, and you can get behind that. That's why I'm so interested when the next anime season, which I'm sure probably won't be till next year, how they go about it, because it's like, that's the funny thing is, most of these animes, they like take 2 to 3 year breaks, and you're like, fuck, I got into this, and then you're like, okay, you gotta wait. And it's just cool stuff like that, to where you just get invested in the character, and so those are just fun things. But that's like my Mount Rushmore right now. I mean, honorable mention is Killua from Hunter x Hunter. He's such a badass. I'm just like within the first 30 episodes, he rips that fucking like pervert's fucking heart out. I'm just like, oh my god, I love it. You are great. I mean, Gon's cool too. I mean, Gon's like kind of a Goku-esque, like happy-go-lucky person. I mean, when he goes ape shit on the Chimera Ant minions, the P2 who kills Kite, which, that sucks. You're just like, fuck, Kite's dead. I want to bring him back. He's like, you fucking lied to me. You fucking lied to me. I'm going to fucking kill you. And it's just like, and literally, that's how it happens. And he loses his shit. And, what person wouldn't? When your mentor just gets pretty much mangled and, killed. And then you're just like, oh, I'm going to fucking destroy you. But those are the ones that are, those are like the pillars that I just absolutely love. They're the protagonists that that invest you in the series itself, but you love to see their story and like them triumph over evil. I mean, it's the same thing in wrestling. You know, you like, well, not quite today, but back when we were kids and stuff, where you would have, whether it be Hulk Hogan or Dusty Rhodes or other people like that, to where you want to see them win and kick the bad dude's ass. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, definitely. We talked offline about the animes that I'm into as of this moment, and it's mainly food animes. So I've gotten to that point in my life where I just want to relax and watch something like a little slice of life type of animation, or I forget the different genres, the names of it, besides hentai. But
we really tell Frankie what hentai is, he'd be like, "Oh fuck."
I'm sure he knows.
What, he doesn't know that subset, the very seedy subset of the hentai where they see the lesbian stuff that goes on. Oh, it's so much fun.
Yes, it is. But like I just like to relax and watch something, like that kind of interests me, or that really interests me, which is food, as we all know. And that's the type of anime I've been watching lately. And I have not seen Food Wars, which is probably the most popular food anime in the past 5 years. And I just, for some reason, I saw the first episode and I couldn't get into it because I don't know if you've seen it before, but it's one of those animes where they cook and they have like cooking competitions, but it gets really intense. But the thing I don't really like is when some of the patrons eat the food, then they seemingly have an orgasm and their clothes fly off. I mean, they don't show it. It doesn't show nudity or anything, but there's, that thing where they make noises and faces and get all hot and bothered, and clothes just fly off. And of course, they're covered in like clothing parts or like stuff that strategically covers their private areas. But yeah, and I'm like, if I wanted to see that, I'd probably go for hentai, actually. But
well, it'd be like the obligatory like little wiener shots in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
That is
more likely Dragon Ball. There was more dick in Dragon Ball than I think any anime I'd ever watched.
Yeah, that's true.
At that time, because it's just like Goku liked to be naked.
Yeah. but other than that, it's I don't have time to watch as much anime as I want to. My friend, who's a big anime fan, she's the one that turned me on to One Punch Man, Demon Slayer, which I recommend you watching.
All right, no, I'm it's just like, I'm never against when people give me stuff. It's just like when I know I get into it, I'm like, I can't get out. It's fucking fun. It's just like, well, I know we had talked about Attack on Titan where you literally got through
5 minutes.
Not even episode 1. Even though it's now, I mean,
yeah.
they just finished the last season, but I mean, which is super intense. I mean, that first season, it sucks you in. I mean, there's just so much shit that happens in the first 7 episodes. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a lot of whodunit. They kind of, it's like finishing a murder mystery. It really is. It takes, turns and stuff. But I definitely, I know it was very, very emotional for you, the fact that the mob just gets fucking eaten within like the first 10 minutes of the first episode. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? This is complete fucking madness. And it's these creepy fucking giants.
Mm-hmm. Naked giants.
I mean, it is fucking creepy. I mean,
yeah.
I absolutely adore the opening theme of the anime, though. Like, I forget what the name of it, because it's like it's interspliced with Japanese and German lyrics, which is But it's just really, really cool. And then there's another one in later seasons that I both have them on my phone, which are just great songs. They're just really awesome.
That's cool. Another question is, do you have an anime that actually made you just get so emotional, like just straight up cry so much, or happy or angry, or?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, DBZ.
Besides, yeah.
Dragon Ball was different because it was just like, yeah, it was a smaller Goku, but when we were talking earlier about when Krillin died, and then that set Goku to, go to Super Saiyan. If you would have watched from the beginning of Dragon Ball to that point, you would have even gotten a bigger emotional lift, where a lot of people in America wouldn't have known that. If you're in Japan and you watched it from the beginning till that point, the emotion kicks in. But definitely there are parts of DBZ that are very like the end of the Cell games is definitely one of them. And then actually when he meets his grandfather in between the end of the Red Ribbon Army saga into what is the second Tenkaichi Budokai, or as the kids say in English, the world's martial arts tournament. Mm-hmm. And Goku is so emotional that he sees his grandfather because he was, such a big part of his life. And, if you follow the story where Goku is essentially a Saiyan that is sent to Earth, we find that out in Dragon Ball Z, but we don't know that in Dragon Ball, who hits his head and, instead of, being bad like most Saiyans were at the beginning, he turns good and, is essentially Earth's savior. Kind of Jesus-like, because, it's when he goes to the lookout and stuff towards the end of Dragon Ball, and then, they go to the lookout in every saga pretty much after that in Dragon Ball Z. But My Hero Academia was one, like the emotion between Deku and All Might, where Deku has no quirk, because the story is that everyone has a quirk and they grow into it. Well, he's the only one who's quirkless, and he wants to be All Might so bad, and we can all relate to that. The jobs we have, were they our first choice? No, but you either accept them or, everyone dreams about being something or something really spectacular. And you get that with him. And then, the parts where he gets emotional with All Might and, he gets to the next step, and then he finds his power, and then he gets more powerful and, stuff like that. But those are definitely ones. Dragon Ball Super did it to me a few times, like the Roshi one. And then when Goku goes to his final transformation in the Tournament of Power, which is pretty awesome, where it's just like, I'm going to send you the clip, and if you don't cry, you have no fucking soul. But it's just, those are stuff that's really, really cool. Blue Gender I would have probably, even though I really went through that fast, because I didn't watch it on television. I got it from a DVD set from a guy I used to work with, which was like really crazy, where it's just like, the humans, it's just like, I love the fact that anime has the most post-apocalyptic stuff, where it's just like these foreign beings are just taking away humanity, and then eventually they fight back, and then there's all the twists and turns, and eventually they triumph, or it gets even darker and then they triumph, or it just goes in a completely fucking different direction and stuff like that. It's like I think it was what the hell's the anime that's like, it's Neon Evan, oh God, why am I?
Neon Genesis Evangelion or whatever.
Yeah, no, which everyone has told me is like a major mind fuck. Mm-hmm. Just, it's so ridiculous, and I haven't been able to watch it. I watched a little bit of Gundam Wing, when it was on Toonami. But that's the thing that sucked about Toonami. They would only do a run of episodes that they would get, and then they would start back over. Dragon Ball Z did it, and then they did it with Dragon Ball when they did it later on when they got the rights to that, which was like so frustrating because you were starting to get sucked in. And then if you didn't know what to do or where to go to get stuff, you'd just like either lose interest or you'd be like, wait till the next arc would come out to the United States and kind of, follow it from there. But those are like my paramount. That's things that definitely you get attached to stuff. And once it gets to a point to where that emotion hits, and it hits home for you, and it's just like, it's really, really crazy. But I mean, yeah, that just gets it gets you right in the feels. It really, really does.
Yeah. For me, it was Devilman Crybaby on Netflix. Watch that.
Okay.
I've never bawled so hard in my life because I felt hopeless. I was like, wow, this messed me up. So
yeah, well, that's the thing. It's funny. Western animation is so different now. I mean, it's almost like funny haha now, as opposed to like serious stuff. I mean, when we grew up, we had. I'm going to say this right now, and I don't care who disagrees with me. The 80s was the best fucking decade for animation ever.
Hell yeah. Yes.
I mean, the cartoons we had, between G.I. Joe, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mask, Thundercats, Silverhawks, Voltron, fucking He-Man. Oh, it's just a plethora of just goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still had Looney Tunes that would be playing and all other stuff. And now it's kind of morphed into, there really isn't any, I'd say outside of the Simpsons, I think kind of, changed that, where it was just like, it's a funny sitcom-y animated series. And then there's Family Guy. And, in between that is South Park. But, now it's just like, it's this funny stuff in the West. And then there's Japan, which has interesting stories, lots of action.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they have their subgenres of stuff, but the stuff that gets over here gets over with people, and they're making a lot of money right now. And I think now it's more global than it ever has been, I'd say, in any time in history, which at some point I need to go to Japan and just fucking spend a lot of money and buy like 2 suitcases and send it back full of shit. Then my wife will leave me and be like, why the fuck did you spend like $5,000 on shit? And I'm like, because it's awesome. That's why.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the Tiger Masks animes or the newer one, Tiger Mask W?
I want to see them. I so want to see them because I remember when I was more heavy into New Japan, probably in the like 2015, 2016, where I'd actually be watching the G1. So I still have a New Japan World subscription, but and seeing like when they did the Dark Tiger Mask in New Japan, which was Kota Ibushi against Tiger Mask 4.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, where I still want to see the Liger anime, the Jushin Thunder Liger anime.
Oh, that's right.
Because I love Jushin Liger. I'm so grateful I got to meet him, even though I fanboyed out like really hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cool meeting Jushin Thunder Liger.
And we were both at over here when he did his retirement tour when New Japan was here in Civic Center in San Jose, right?
I was so bitter. That was the shittiest last match anyone could have.
Right.
I was so mad. I was like, you put him with Colt Cabana and 2 other fucknuts. Like, this is Jushin Liger. He goes over, he wins, he says something, and then he leaves. Mm-hmm. That would have been better, but what you gave me was a shit sandwich to the face. I was not happy. I was so angry. I was like, well, I know in my podcast, my solo episode with Frankie, I talked about this, so I'll talk about it again too. But where the Japanese television crew, because I bought like some Jushin Thunder Liger t-shirt off like I think Redbubble or something, and I wore it to the show. They're like, "You like Jushin Liger?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I like Jushin Liger." And probably this would be the most self-conscious I get about myself. I'm like, I hope I didn't sound like an idiot, because I did say some Japanese phrases on the interview, but also talking about stuff, and I did get a little tongue-tied at a few things. So I'm like, I didn't sound too stupid. And I'm like, and they did say that they were gonna play it for him, before his retirement, because he eventually retired, 2 months later, which I don't think I have watched his last match and then the speech he had at New Year's Dash the following year in 2020. I'll go back and watch it. I mean, it's New Japan World. They got this shit. And where it was just, it's just so cool to have that. But, I'd hope he saw it. Maybe he cared, maybe he didn't, but that's something cool I got to do. And then they gave me a close-up at some point. I haven't rewatched the show on New Japan World, so I mean, I can speculate, but I know the camera was focused on me. Dave Meltzer was there too in his Jankos. I'm just like, Dave, you're fucking almost 60. Put the Jankos away. Not that I'm going to rip on Dave Meltzer. Dave has lived in Campbell his whole goddamn life, and he's doing all right, but get better clothes, Dave. It's fucking Jankos. You're not an 18-year-old skateboarder.
I gotta see that.
Dude, I saw him twice. I saw him at the G1 special in Dallas, like the first night of the G1 in 2019. And he was there, and he was in like these just ridiculously patterned like fucking jeans. I'm like, and it's 100 degrees and humid as fucking Texas. It's in Dallas. So I was like, Dave, what the fuck? And everyone's marking out over him because it's Dave. And, I understand that. You've been a fan of wrestling for a long time. You know who Dave Meltzer is. And you want to meet him. But I just look back and I'm like, I don't need to meet Dave, but I acknowledge his existence. And, that's fine. But it was just like, they were going like they saw Jesus. And I'm like, let's pump the brakes on that, okay? And, it was just like so weird. I'm like, Dave, why are you trying to dress like the kids? Be like, don't do that. I mean, we've all seen the old person who wants to fit in with the younger crowd. You've been in a bar or something else where it's just like a guy is doing that. It's just like, you're trying too hard, friend. You get another plan of attack and live to fight another day. But yeah, no, getting back to the Liger stuff, like I would love to see that because his theme song is so awesome. And then I think there's a secondary one that I think was the end song of his anime, which I ended up buying all of his like themes from a New Japan website. I have it at home. It's fucking awesome. And it's just like, cool stuff. Just absolutely.
Do you play it like when you wake up in the morning or take a shit or?
Well, if I did it when I took a shit, I'd have lightning shits at this point. I mean, for God's sakes, it'd be great.
That would be great.
On a playlist on my phone. I mean, as much as, I love Bruce Springsteen, I have an eclectic taste of completely insane stuff. Like I have the Mega Man's 1, 2, and 3 soundtrack on my phone.
Dude, I love you. I love Mega Man's soundtrack. Oh my God, that's like some of the best music, and
even though
it's like 8-bit music, yeah.
Mega Man 2 forever will always be the Bubble Man stage, which is oh my God, it's fucking Jaworski inducing cranking section. It's so awesome. And then
Metal Man. I love Metal Man.
Yeah, Wily Stage 1, which is fucking brilliant, and the opening theme is iconic. And then the end of the game theme is fucking phenomenal. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, no, my 9-year-old self, my parents bought me Mega Man 2 when I was 9 years old. I think they got it at KB Toys for like $50. And that was one of the first Nintendo games I beat. And I was so happy when I beat that fucking game.
Same here.
So, Mega Man 3
never owned it. I had to rent it multiple times to beat it. But once you find out the order to go to beat the bosses, and it becomes really easy.
Oh yeah.
And I could never beat part 1. That was the hardest one for me for some reason.
Oh god damn it. Yeah, 1 sucked. I have a new appreciation for 1. I mean, I do still have the GameCube anniversary collection of all the Mega Mans. And I still have the GameCube, and it's, when I want to dust it off, I do that. But oh my god, I adore, well, the Mega Man 1, there is Elect Man's theme, which is really good. Cut Man's theme for his stage is pretty awesome. So those are ones. I'm trying to think. Mega Man 3, which is like there's and then I have Mega Man 4 too, like Skull Man I loved. I think Shadow Man was another one I really liked. The beginning theme of 4. God, I could go on and on and on. Mega Man, like, it's my avatar on my WebEx work avatar. Which they're like, oh, Mega Man's awesome. I'm like, fuck yeah, Mega Man's awesome. And I'm like, I'm a cool kid. You're just coming along for the ride. And everything else. But I love Mega Man. Rockman, as it's affectionately called in Japan. But I love. I watched the cartoon a little bit, but I didn't watch all of it. Like in the early '90s, when I think they, which it's okay. It's it's nothing to write home about. It'd be a fun watch. But I always, when I was younger, I always thought Mega Man would be a great movie to release here. And then, I got older, I realized, I'm like, we'd probably find a way to fuck it up because, things don't translate sometimes. Where it's like, we talked about Castlevania earlier, where it's like, that is the way you translate a video game to an actual story that people will watch and get behind. But yeah, Mega Man's the fucking cat's ass. I love Mega Man so much.
How about Mega Man X?
I played Mega Man X, and I did not get very far. I was so into Super Mario RPG for SNES, which I think is the greatest Mario game of all time, and I'll fight anyone to the death that says that's not. I fucking love Super Mario RPG. I spent a summer in 1995 beating that fucking game. It was fucking glorious when I beat it. Oh, it was just magical. So much fun. Played it. Oh, god damn it. No, don't tell me you... Okay. Homework assignment. Find it. If you do emulators or anything else, you find Super Mario RPG and you motherfucking play that game. I don't know if you like RPGs in general, but to me, it is awesome. And the thing that sucks, they never did a sequel to it. Well, they did, but it just isn't the same.
Oh, really? Is it more like the... What's it called? The time-based, or like time attack. What's it called? The like Final Fantasy type of gameplay.
Kind of. Well, there is a Final Fantasy boss in there.
Okay.
But that's like you get like a special item if you beat that said boss. But there's like timed attacks. But Bowser is not the bad guy in the game, which is even more brilliant. So the baddie is Smithy, and like Google it, look it up, and the story of the game, it's pretty awesome. The soundtrack is amazing too. I love that soundtrack. That's another good one. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to buy that soundtrack, I think it's like $200 on CD because they they released it with the game. Like, well, that's the thing. When we grew up in the 80s and 90s, we got these toys not thinking they're going to be worth shit. Now, if you had it in the box, you motherfucking be making bank.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy 2 sealed Nintendo or SNES games, and I'll keep one, and then I could probably sell it for $700 or $800 right now. And if it's ultra rare, I could probably get like 50, 60, 80 grand for one. And I'm like, the fuck? And that's so much cool stuff. But yeah, no, definitely like Google it. That was in between. I think I'm trying to think if it's the same. It probably wasn't 95. It's probably 96. I take that back. Because 95 was Super Mario World 2 when they did Yoshi and Baby Mario, where Yoshi has to keep Baby Mario from being captured from Mega Koopa. Mm-hmm. That's a fun game too. That was surprisingly fun.
Okay, hold on, Matt. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. My dad needed something.
That's all right. It's all brother.
So, let's see what else. So we got into video games now. Do you often play video games still, or back then? Or,
well, I wish. I'm what we call a classic gamer. I grew up on Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N60. I was a Nintendo person. I did Genesis because other people had it. And jokingly, you know, when Chris Aha said, "Someone get me a Neo Geo now," and when John Lee goes, "Well, why don't you fucking buy it yourself?" It's like, well, why don't you buy one for me, and I'll tell you all about it. And it's, you know, typical Chris.
Yeah, of course.
But and then I had a GameCube, which I still own. I still own my GameCube. And then my wife during the pandemic got a Nintendo Switch, and then I just actually bought the new Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge, which is fucking awesome.
Really?
Yeah. Think of the mashup. Did you play Turtles 2?
Yeah, I did.
Version?
Yes.
And like Turtles 3 and Turtles 4, Turtles in Time?
Yeah. I love those.
So put all that together, and that's the game you have for the Switch.
No way.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great retro game. It really is. You just beat the fuck out of Foot Soldiers and all the other people, and it's great. It's fantastic. I beat the game already, but it's fun. I mean, I put a post in the Brothership, and between Albert and a few other people, they're like, "Yeah, I've already done all this, but it's very much playable. You'd love it."
Is it a short game?
I mean, it's 16 levels, but it's just your typical beat 'em up.
Ah, okay.
Like, did you play Maximum Carnage on Super?
Yeah, I love that game.
That's fucking the shit. I beat the game. I still have not beat that game. I got to Carnage, and Carnage kicked my ass, but like, I always loved when I was pissed off. There'd be 2 games I'd always go to, would be Maximum Carnage and Super Punch Out for SNES.
Ooh, yeah. That I have on my Nintendo Switch, and I played that.
Super Punch Out's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a great
even though nothing will beat Mike Tyson's Punch Out, because Mike Tyson's Punch Out is great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Super Punch Out is a great little game to get stressed out. Just beat the fuck out of Old Bull, Super Macho Man, Gabby J, and whoever the fuck, Aaron Ryan, and
Gabby J. Yay!
Yeah, like the biggest. It literally just like it's like a limp wrist just going. It's like, oh, the air pushed my arm down.
Yeah.
Just beat the fuck out of you. But yeah, no. Fun games like that. But no, I sadly not. Like, my wife got into Animal Crossing like everyone else, which I tell my wife, she plays games that have like no real end to it. It's just mindless BS. And I'm like, no, that's not a game. That's just a mind fuck that just keeps you doing the same shit. Like, there has to be a beginning, middle, and end. There has to be a story. And she's like, well, I'm like, I understand you like it, but I'm letting you know. But, and then she bought the Lego Harry Potter and then the Lego Skywalker Saga, and that was her jam. And then I got her addicted to Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch. And then she beat the game. I give my wife credit. She is a fucking completist and wants to beat everything. She wants to get like 100% everything. And I would have never expected that. But it's just really cool watching her like get super excited. I just watch her, and because I'd watch our daughter, and then when she'd go to sleep, my wife would just be going to town on fucking Luigi's Mansion 3.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like Animal Crossing myself. Actually, I got to play it today because I still have my little streak going on, like consecutive days of playing.
Okay.
And but like I'm still it's a nice time killer, and it's relaxing and everything. Yeah, there's no ending to it, but I just like to unwind while playing it. It doesn't stress me out at all. There's no boss I have to fight, nothing I have to kill. And it's just a good like time waster for me. But I do gotta check out Luigi's Mansion 3. I didn't even know that was out.
Yeah, that came out last year, I think.
Okay.
And I know the second one's on the DS, and then the original ones was the launch of the GameCube.
Yeah.
Which that's a great game too. I love Luigi's Mansion. Like they did a really good job with that. I mean, any Mario game, there's not many bad Mario games. They're just not. Except
part 2.
Well, you can say that, yes, because I mean I'm of the the generation. You grew up with Mario 1, and then Mario 2 is so ridiculous, and then you have Mario 3, which is fucking amazing, and then you have Super Mario World, and then that's really I'd say that's the end of the traditional kind of Mario game, because then after that you had the Mario 64 version, which literally has been like most of the ports for now. Like Super Mario Sunshine is the same thing, where you go into certain worlds and then you have to beat. And I mean, they've always kept that where you have to beat 8 levels,
right?
To pass the level. But now you're getting stuff like with Super Mario Sunshine, you have to clean up Delfino Island, and and get everything back to normal. And get the sprites back so that the island can shine, and then in Super Mario 64 you have to get all the stars in order to rescue the princess. Super Mario Odyssey is kind of the same, in Galaxy, which I haven't played. I haven't played Odyssey or Galaxy, but I mean the last game I really played hard for Mario was Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion. Those were two fun.
Cool. So let's wrap it up here. I gotta go eat dinner.
Oh yeah, well, here's the great thing. We're both on the same time zone, where it's like if I'm with Frankie, usually it's very fucking late for him. And then, we're on the West Coast. We're the lucky ones. We get all the good shit for sports. And just the time, it's fantastic. Where it's
hell yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's why I love it out here. It's like, oh yeah, you mean the noon game is at 10?
Yeah.
The Monday night football game's at 5. This is fucking great. The late game is like at just before dinner. I can have a life after this. This is wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And the weather's nice too right now.
Oh, it's dead. Right now, it's perfect.
Right now, it's perfect. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, not like last Monday where it was fucking over 100 and baking our asses off. But everywhere else is dealing with that too. I mean, I can never remember at a time where it was really hot like everywhere. I mean, here, yeah, it's dry heat. We don't have the humidity, but still sucks. Still fucking hot, and we're in a fucking drought, which we've been for the last almost decade. So wherever you are, brother shippers, send water so we can have a fucking water table by the time we die.
That's true. We need to get out of this drought. It hasn't rained properly in a long time here in California. I don't know if it's due to global warming or some other thing, but it hasn't. We haven't had a really good, decent rain.
I said January.
Yeah, and that wasn't even that much per se. I mean, like we needed more than that.
Yeah.
I would love to have more than that.
Yeah, December was pretty great, and then everything just went in the toilet after the first of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, the last rain I had up by me was when I came back from Hawaii at the end of March. I haven't had shit since. But I mean, granted, right now it's dry season. It's, you're in peak summer, but there's days like today where it's, nice and 72 and you get that nice Pacific Ocean breeze and, it's fantastic to be outside and you don't feel like you're sweating to death. And, it's just cool stuff like that. Yeah. Granted, I'm indoors most of the time because obviously I'm in an office and work remotely, but when I do get to take my daughter to the park and stuff like that, you're not sweating to death or dying. You're happy that you get that nice little breeze. It makes you feel good.
Yeah, definitely. Usually I'm asleep during this time. I mean, I
know. I've been where you were at too, where you've done. I did third shift for close to almost 10 years. I know what that. Yeah, where I have no sleep schedule anymore. I can wake up without an alarm clock at this point. Like that's my life.
Wow. I wish I could do. Well, it depends. I'm like it's weird now that I'm sort of on vacation. Well, I am on vacation, but
do you mostly keep your sleep schedule for the most part?
Yes and no. I fight it. My body wants to.
Yeah. Then, I'm assuming you revert on your time off and then you have to go back into it. Like when I did it, I would keep it even on my time off. Unless I knew I was doing something with somebody else. But then there would be days where my body would fight it and I'd get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. But then my body would actually say, well, fuck you. You're going to sleep 12, 13 hours after that. Where I got to a point, I mean, I was much younger then, where I ended up, I would sleep, I would have breakfast and then sleep all the way until I would have to go to work, or at least close to, which is fucking great. I can't do that anymore. No fucking way in hell I could do it. But that's what I did. That was, heavy into my movie watching and DBZ days where I would fucking just, because I still live with my parents, and then, I'd have the basement. A foreign thing to Californians. We don't have fucking basements.
Yeah, what's a basement?
Yeah, it's called the coolest part of the house. Where I'm. But also we have a little thing called earthquakes, so we're all on the slab. So we'll just go off the slab. Because do you really want a basement and have everything kind of collapse down on you? I don't think so.
That's true.
Because at some point we're gonna have that big quake. Hopefully we're either dead or not here anymore. So. It's the only thing we can only hope for.
Yeah. Well, on that jury note, we're going to end the podcast here.
We got to pump them up.
I'm kidding.
It's like, no. California is not going in the Pacific Ocean and people will not die from the next, big quake.
No.
We're all happy people that pay $6 gas right now and, as happy as clams.
Tell me about it. I don't want to talk about gas prices right now in California or food prices or any housing prices or any prices in general here regarding California.
Well, to be fair, the only gas is coming out of my ass right now. So that's the exciting part of my life.
Well, that's a lot of information right there.
Okay.
I wish I could take the gas from my ass and put it in my car. So.
Well, you know what? You'd be very profitable, but also I think you'd be probably hunched over a lot, and it would hurt.
Yeah, most likely. So.
New kidneys for Ariel. Can we get a GoFundMe?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Thoughts and prayers, dog. Thoughts and prayers.
On that note.
Exactly. See, I can potpourri this bitch up.
Nice. All right, man. It was great talking to you. We got to do this again. Maybe talk about another topic that you're into. We talked anime, we talked video games, so we could probably do another video game episode.
Oh, God damn it! I could go classic gaming all day and have a grand old time, because we were children of a certain age, and we are getting older, but at the same time we're still young too. I mean, I'm going to turn 40 in 6 weeks, so I mean, even though I am going to turn 40, I'm still a little fucking kid. My wife will tell you the same thing. Be like, why the fuck did I marry this asshole? And all the other stuff. But
yeah, same here. Okay, so Monday I went to a funeral of a childhood friend, right?
Yeah.
And my friend and I, we were sitting next to each other, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to trade Pokemon? Because we played Pokemon Go."
No, I remember the craze very well.
Yeah, so we still have that on our phones, and we still play once in a while. He's like, "Do you want to trade Pokemon right now?" Because I hardly see him. And he's my only friend here that I can trade Pokemon with, or whatever, do this type of activity with. And I was like, sure. Brought out my phone. Our other friend that's sitting next to me, she was like, "Are you fucking serious right now?" And I'm like, yeah. This is, I mean, we're grown-ups, but we're not growing up yet right now. She's like, "Oh my God." I mean, of course, her best friend just passed away, and she's of course taking this seriously. I mean, the way I cope is trying to make jokes and trying to make the situation a little bit lighter. Same with my friend. That's why we pull out our phones and try to play Pokemon Go at the same time, which thankfully the church also has Pokemon Stop, and then there's a bunch of Pokemon around it, so we captured a bunch while the thing was going on, which I feel bad, but my friend that passed away would have liked it. I'm sure she would have was cool with us getting Pokemon during her
caught
service.
Almost all of them, so it was well worth the risk.
Well, we caught the ones that were like around the church area, so it was like, yeah, it was worth it. But
we all grieve in different ways, man. Like, don't even feel like, unless you're desecrating the corpse,
oh no,
you're okay.
Exactly. So I don't know where that story came from. I don't know why I was talking about it. What was I talking about beforehand? Growing up, or just.
Well, the aging process at this point, where it's like, we had our, we had our fun as children, and then young adults, where it was just like, it's funny. I was heavier into wrestling in the 1990s than I was in the 1980s. But also I was a lot younger and stuff like that. But, like, your likes change over time. And, but you never forget that. It's why BS sessions like this are fun, where it's like, I've been fortunate. I've gotten to do a lot of fun stuff, and, it's brought me here, and talking to other people, and makes for good conversation, good stories, because everyone does have a story, doesn't matter if it's good or not. It's still a story. Everyone has their stories, and it just has to be. Yes, you tell it. And you tell it the best way you can. Other people may tell it better, but doesn't matter. It's still your story.
That's absolutely right. We'll end it on this then.
So, fuck yeah.
We I am hungry.
We can really clean it up.
There you go. So, like I said earlier, it was great talking to you. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being my first ever guest as a interviewer for me. And I hope to have you back. Or we hope to have you. I don't know if I should include Frankie in this.
Yeah, it's that fat Mark in Florida. I don't know. No, I just listened to the Michael Herrick episode, and I had not realized that he had requested you as to be on with you. And a couple days after that, and I was just listening to the Springsteen episode, and by design, I always like to keep a backlog of podcasts available, because some take more time than others, but also it's just like having the variety of things. Yeah, I mostly have wrestling podcasts, and and trust me, there's a podcast for fucking everything. But it's just to have that where when I used to travel for work, not so much anymore, but I'd save all that shit up, or I'd be going home to see my family in Minnesota, and have something on the plane, or when you don't want to really talk to people, I'm like, I got my headphones on and be like, I don't want to fucking talk to anybody right now. I just want to listen to shit. Mm-hmm. And those are fun things to do. But it really inspired me to be like, you know what, fuck, let's get here. And then today, or like, I'm like, oh my god, we're talking about anime. I'm like, I'm on right now. I'm like, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, I'll see if he wants to do it. And it's just cool stuff. And then Frankie allows me to be an idiot with the intros, so that's fun. And I mean, he came to me with it, and like I said, the Jimmy Valiant thing and the Navy SEAL body guy. And I don't think you've heard the Redneck Steve one yet.
No.
Yeah, no. I just I did that I think we were taping the episode with Rick Nathan. That's the last one we did. I don't know if he did. I don't know if he added that. I think he told me he was. But yeah, because I'm trying to find a few more. I'll have to dust. I told him I'd dust off my Randy Savage, but I'll have to think of a name that is not them. That's the reason why there's Shaska Willie, not the Boogeyman Jimmy Valiant, or Navy SEAL Body Guy, which is Jesse the Body Ventura, but it's not really Jesse the Body Ventura. And then Redneck Steve, which it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, but it is it is a character. And fun stuff. And, I've always had that in the wheelhouse. I have a deep enough voice and all other bullshit. I mean, I hate my recorded voice anyway, because it sounds completely different from when I'm talking right now. But when I hear it back, I'm like, how the fuck do I sound so baritone? And, you can kind of see things, but after a while you just accept it and you move on. That's just the way I am.
Yeah. Cool. All right. For like the third or fourth time, we're gonna have
Minnesota. Hey, you know what, Ariel? It's the Minnesota goodbye. I suck you the fuck in until I'm just like, nope. Oh yeah, bye. Oh no, we're gonna talk about this. No, bye. And it's just like, and then eventually you say bye, or your spouse who's not Minnesotan, but he's just like, get the fuck out of here. We need to leave now. So.
All right, Matt.
All right.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun, and it's nice that we're kind of close. I mean, I'm in Palo Alto, which is in the middle of the Bay Area, but you in San Jose. But at some point, I know we should probably actually meet in person. And
exactly, yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, it's like people go, "Well, you live in the same area." I'm like, the Bay Area is fucking gigantic. Just FYI.
Yeah, you're in Palo Alto. I'm in San Jose. So it's just a straight shot about like.
Yeah, I know. It's just
20,
like,
25, 30 minutes.
Schedules. I'm a 9 to 5-er. You're,
Yeah, I'm a night guy.
Yeah, no, trust me, but I've been there, so I know what it's like.
Yeah. All right, man.
Good
talking to you.
Enjoy Din Din. I love you, and you're the bestest. And we'll talk soon.
All right, I love you too. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Ariel, we're back.
Yeah, I just want to say that I know that the conversation I had with Matt is a niche genre that many brother shippers may not know or partake in anime, which we were talking about. As much fun as I had having the conversation, I understand that not everybody watches it, or they might be like, what the hell are you guys talking about? But it was a great conversation. Matt and I both love anime, and we just wanted to converse about it, have a little conversation. It went into video games afterwards, but that might be part 2. And we just wanted to share with you guys, some things that we like to do or we like to watch, or hobbies of ours. Yeah, I was kind of fearing like, okay, this might be an episode that a lot of brother shippers might not really care to listen to or whatever. I had fun though.
Well, to be fair, a lot of brother shippers don't listen to our podcasts.
That is true. You all suck, motherfuckers. Just kidding.
But we appreciate the ones that we do, because we don't do it for us or do it for the ratings or do it for the downloads or do it for, I don't know, the Patreon. We do it because we love the brothership and we love the people that are in the group, and we would, we want everyone to hear how cool our friends are. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it is very accurate.
Yep.
100%.
So, Ariel, you're busy and you have your shows, your YouTube that you watch, but I ask you to please get caught up on The Boys.
Yes.
And I think you've done so. And there was one scene in particular that we can now discuss. And if you are not caught up with The Boys, there will be a minor spoiler. So I would say just skip ahead a minute or two. But we're not going to go into a whole lot of detail that's going to ruin much for you. It's not like any big reveal. So that's your warning, and you can skip now. However, I don't know the episode, but Homelander is he's receiving some award or something, and all these things have come out about him, of things he said and things he's done. And he sort of just comes out and says, yeah, I said it. So what? So what? I'm a human. I'm a human too. Whatever. Get over it. Big deal. You don't like what I said? Get over it.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, his approval rating goes up.
Yeah. So these allegations came out about Vince McMahon, and this is what I likened it to, because these happened at the same time, pretty much. Vince McMahon, these allegations come out about him, and the very next Raw, who opens it? And it's kind of like he's saying, yeah, so what? I'm still here, or whatever. Or maybe he was saying goodbye. But I was like, man, most people would have not made their presence known on Raw after allegations or whatever. But he was front and center.
Yeah, and the weird thing is people cheered him.
So, right?
Yeah.
So it was all very, very similar, and there's no way that anybody could have predicted whatever. But it was all very similarly done. And so if you're not watching The Boys, I think it's on Amazon Prime. Please do. Absolutely love it. Great show. Another wonderful show that I just finished was The Umbrella Academy. Have you watched any of those?
I've seen the first season. I didn't watch it anymore. I should get back into it. Yeah.
This last third season was the best, and so much happened, and just some of the shots that they do is just amazing. I mean, like the colors and just the sets that they have is just so cool, and the storyline just really developed, and it made me. So it's been, I guess, 3 years, over the 3 seasons, but it's really only been like, a day or two to them.
Oh, really? It takes the time frame.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's only been a few days, but for us it's been a few years. So I thought that was really interesting. So that's 2 TV recommendations that I have to anyone. I think a lot of people in our group enjoy the comics, the superheroes, and wrestling as well. So those are 2 shows that, man, I just think are absolutely amazing.
I got to check out Umbrella Academy again. I got to rewatch the first season. I totally forgot what went on.
Yeah. So much happens. I mean, that's just so good. I mean, I think I would watch it again.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I'll check it out once I have time. There's a lot of shows that have been recommended to me that I haven't gotten the chance to go over and watch. My boss recommends a lot of shows to me, and it's funny because I recommended Deadwood to him. I recommended Deadwood without actually seeing it myself.
Oh, that's my boy right there.
And then he's like, and then he loves it. He saw it and he was all excited and he wanted to talk about it and everything. And I'm like, I've never seen it before. And he's like, why did you recommend it to me then without seeing it first? I'm like, I don't know. I heard it was a good show. I just wanted to to see if you would like it. And then, yeah, you asked me, if there was any good show out because he was done watching another show of his, and so I just said Deadwood.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
I gotta watch it. So,
I used to do that, but
oh, really?
Yeah. So I used to watch nothing but Family Guy.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't watch TV. But the only thing that I watched was Family Guy. So I would make all these references to my friends about shows, or movies or pop culture references, having not seen them or heard them at all.
Wow.
All based on what Family Guy said. To where it's like in my group of friends back in North Carolina, it was a joke. That for me, Family Guy is the end all be all of the comedy. But really, it was they were making jokes that were mentioned on other shows that would have been funnier had I got the reference.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that's pretty funny though.
Yeah.
You still watch Family Guy?
No, it's not. It's not on the list. I found that when you get married, it's like, you stop the guy shit and you do what both of you find a common ground you both could enjoy. Mm-hmm. The other reason is, so we don't watch much TV. We watch TV as we're falling asleep. And my wife has her shows that she watches, like if I'm not in there watching with her, like Married at First Sight is one. And let's see, what's another one? Oh, Sister Wives. She likes those
Sister Wives. Is this some Alabama show? What is that? What's Sister Wives?
No, it's some Mormon stuff.
Oh, wow.
And they take multiple wives.
Oh, sounded Alabama-ish to me.
That's Cousin Wives.
That's Cousin Wife. That's cousin sister, cousin wife. So okay, it's a reality show or.
Yeah.
What is it? Okay. I gotta
look that up. Yeah. So they follow different couples. I think there's more than one couple.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's the one main guy. I think his name is Cody, and they sort of have a compound, and he would go from woman's house to woman's house, and then back to the main house.
Mm.
I mean, it seems a little weird to me that the women would tolerate that, but it's kind of like they work as a community and help each other take care of the whatevers.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched enough of it enough of it to shit on it, but where was that?
What else? Yeah.
The other reason I don't watch Family Guy, and the main reason is they have a lot of doorbells in it, and I cannot stand the doorbell ring because it makes my dogs go crazy.
Mm.
And I used to only have to have one to calm down. Then it was two. Now we've got a pack of three. So Family Guy, I can't watch it because there's so many doorbells ringing.
I did not notice that. Now that I think about it. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of doorbells in that show. Huh.
They are.
That's funny. So what other shows that your wife watches?
I'll have to get her on and ask her. Well, so we normally like Umbrella Academy. We watched The Boys. We let me look at my Netflix history. I don't even know what we have watched recently. I'm that dumb.
It's fine.
I can't think of any other shows that we have actually watched recently.
Mm.
Oh, well, she's been gone for 2 days. She went to work up in Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Company offices.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what we've watched. Oh, Naked and Afraid. Shit.
Mm.
So that's not Netflix. That's on Discovery Plus. We watch that. First 48 is one of my go-tos.
Mm-hmm.
You watched that show?
First 48, not in it's been a while. Naked and Afraid sounds like my high school PE days. So
they Naked and Afraid, you've never heard of it?
No, I have.
Okay. So Naked and Afraid, they drop off people out in the wilderness, and they're naked, and they give them a couple of things to take with them, like a machete, a fire starter, or whatever.
Mm. And then what's the end game? They have to survive for how long, or what?
21 days. Yep.
So 21 days. Okay. Huh. Interesting.
21 days. Let's see. Oh, Who Killed Sarah? Show watched on Netflix. Have you seen that one?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's one of the dub shows. Working Moms is a hilarious comedy that we watched on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Working
Moms is a Canadian show. Catherine Reitman does it, and it's one of the actors, and it's hilarious. I'm looking at other stuff that we have watched. The Circle is one of our shows that we watch. That's a reality show. Yeah, so that's what we've watched on the Naked and Afraid is our main go-to there. And then you have the Naked and Afraid XL, which is what you would be if you were on the Naked and Afraid.
Are you calling me fat?
Extra long, brother. Come on. So that's where they have like more than two people. So usually it's just two people, a guy and a girl. They drop off out there for 21 days. But XL's got like 5 people or whatever.
Oh.
So those can be quite interesting.
A party of 5 naked people. That's an orgy. Just
Sounds like freshman year to me.
Oh wow, that's awesome. For me, I just watch food shows and documentaries and
put over some of those YouTube stuff you watch, man.
Well, I watch Strictly Dumpling.
There you go. I thought that guy was really entertaining.
It changed for me a bit because like since he got YouTube money, he's been going out to eating like these $200 buffets and all this stuff that I can't really relate to, because he used to do like hole in the wall restaurants back in the day and stuff like that, and now YouTube money, he is going like it changed his thing, eating at pricier restaurants. Everything is like Wagyu A5 beef and lobster this and all that stuff. So, I watch, I try to watch, when he does something that's not a very extravagant meal, because I don't really care for those, to be honest. Another guy is Mark Waynes. He does the same thing, but he's a lot more. He goes to different countries or different places in the country and stuff, and tries out their foods and whatnot. I like that one a little bit more. I watch Donut Media. That's for cars. If you like cars and just young guys making jokes and stuff like that. I watch that. What else? Some random stuff, like some wrestling things that pop up here and there, like old WWF matches or WCW matches, or like snippets of classic stuff, and Noah wrestling from Japan, and All Japan Pro Wrestling. from the 90s. Watched that also. Some of that. And Stardom from Japan, the female wrestling federation over there. And of course, New Japan. I watch that once in a while. I haven't been watching New Japan lately. It's kind of gotten. I should be watching it, but I haven't really gotten interested in watching wrestling at all lately. And what else? A lot of it revolves around food for my YouTube stuff. I can't really think of the shows right now. There's a show that is on like PBS called here it's KQED. It's another one, public access or not public, was it public television station broadcasting thing. It's called Check Please Bay Area. So I know they have different Check Please shows in different parts of the country. Like there's one Check Please Chicago or something like that, but they have like 3 guests, and each guest goes, or they have a favorite restaurant, and the other 2 guests go to that person's restaurant and try the food and give a review on it. So I use that show to find out new places around the Bay Area to eat, or see if any of my favorite restaurants are showcased on, one of the episodes. So I watched that a lot. And
yeah, it looks like they've got Bay Area, they've got South Florida, Kansas City, Arizona, Philly, and Northwest.
Oh, there you go. So South Florida, that's not you guys. That's like
I'm like West Central.
West Central, the hood.
Central part of the state, but on the coast. I'm on the Gulf Coast. People would call me Gulf Coast, but there's also Gulf Coast up the Panhandle.
Right, that's what I think when I hear Gulf Coast.
I'm the Tampa Bay area. Yeah. So South Florida would be like Dave Flaherty, Greg Good over there in Lauderdale area, Miami. Okay.
The interesting one of the interesting things about that show was when Barack Obama was on that show when he was a senator, and he was a guest on there, and he had like a favorite barbecue place, and so that was showcased on one of the Check Please shows over in where he was at. And I don't know, that was pretty interesting. That was pretty cool. So
yeah, I see that it was the one that they wanted for a while or something. They said it finally premiered on WTTW days before his presidential inauguration.
There you go. So I use that show as a reference guide.
Dixie Kitchen.
Yeah, it was like one of those. I think the theme for that particular episode was restaurants that. I guess more bang for your buck or something like that, like cheap eats or something along those lines. But I love watching that kind of show for restaurant references, just in case I'm in a different city around the Bay Area and I'm trying to look for someplace to eat.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, Ariel, that is all the time I'm going to take for you today, my friend. I need you to get some rest.
I will.
I need you to get rested up and be ready to go to work and, do your best so you can get some more time off and talk to some more brother shippers.
Will do. Thank you, Frankie.
Thanks again, bud. I appreciate your time. Thank you. I can't wait to listen to you and Matt Crowder. I'm sure it is going to be a riveting 2 hours of anime.
Riveting. It depends, I guess. It depends if you like anime or not, or primarily Dragon Ball.
No, but maybe on the details and you explain it where I get it.
Okay.
All right, well, you take care, man.
You too. Bye, guys.
Bye.